Mike, what do you see? Have you seen agents make team choices for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? Like, what are the right reasons and the wrong reasons for an agent to choose to join a team?
Well, it depends on the team and what the agent is looking for to really understand if there's a good match or not. So, a lot of teams have all different kinds of value propositions, whether it's help with administrative support or leads or coaching and accountability. So what really comes down to is, does the agent understand what they truly need, where they need help in their business, and are they able to identify the right team for what they need? So not every agent necessarily needs a team. However, with the right mindset, they might be able to find what they're looking for to help grow their business in a specific way and join the team for that reason. And as long as there's a mutual benefit that the team and the agent agree on, then it could be a good fit.
Do you have any specific questions that you recommend to agents ask when they're interviewing with teams so they can learn like the team, or questions you wish people ask you to learn about the team?
I would certainly want to know what the value proposition is for the team. And that means, what does the team provide that other teams don't? Or specifically, what does that team focus on and provide at a high value that maybe others don't? I don't get that question enough.
What do you think prevents agents from asking that question? Like, what are they coming to the conversation with? What's their mindset when they come to the conversation?
I think from my experience, a lot of agents come to a conversation with the team like we're going to be the end all be all for their business. In other words, we're going to take them from wherever they are at the current time and elevate their business for them. And part of what I believe a team is, it's all about working together and having an understanding of where you're going together, where you want to go and end up, and how you're going to do that together. And that means meeting each other halfway. And I think a lot of agents come into the conversation with a team just thinking that every team will provide the same services or the same value, and that value is simply to take me, the agent, from A to Z, with me, the agent, having to do less work.
So it sounds like the agents need to show up for work.
The agents need to have a great understanding of what it means to be a real estate agent, no matter team or working individually.
Yeah. So when you see agents leave a team, do you see any commonalities, whether it's a team you run or teams that other people run?
I think there's two answers to that question as to why agents ultimately leave teams. Actually, probably three answers. And number one is they weren't a good fit for the team to begin with. And as the leader of the team, I can do as good of a job as possible to trying to identify who the right fits are for the team based on the limited amount of time that I spend with someone before they join the team. But also, again, it goes back to the agent not having a clear understanding of what they're trying to get out of the team, or not having a clear understanding of what their role is and their job is as a real estate agent to meet the team halfway to do what they need to do to really get the value that they're trying to get from what the team is offering. I also think that, for some agents that spend a lot of time on a team, an agent could get exactly what they want from a team and realize it's time for me to go and take my business in a different direction with my own team, or as an individual agent. And I think that should be a decision that the team and the agent come to together, hopefully, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship until that point, because businesses don't have to go in the wrong direction or have to go in different directions for the wrong reason. They can go in different directions, hopefully for the right reason. And then obviously the worst outcome is that there's some type of disagreement between the team and the agent. And I believe that it's the team's responsibility to make sure that they're listening to their agents and can help mitigate those type of situations well before it becomes something where an agent would want to leave a team.
Yeah. What you're making me think of is that this is an industry of independent contractors, and in a way, we're kind of all making it up as we go. That's where the MREA book comes along with, Gary Keller studying millionaire real estate agents and seeing what the models are that those agents are following. Because it wasn't that he said, these are the models you should follow. It was, let's look at successful people and the models that they're following. So they were a Frankenstein of practices. So a great example is Mike McCann, because he came to Keller Williams like 30 years plus into his career, and you would think that he is Keller Williams. And it's because Gary studied him as a success example. And, I think, small teams, as they grow, they're, everybody wants to put their own stamp, their own personality on their team. So I think that's why sometimes agents who are successful on a team feel like, hey, I want to do this on my own. They leave, like they're successful on the team. They're like, it's time for me to be my own leader. And I want to do things my way, and, that's where I think we're all just, we have to base everything that we do on the models. Like there's a triangle, base it on the models, and then you could put creativity on top. So sometimes I see agents leave teams who become successful, but just want to really go it on their own, and what they realize is that it's really hard work. And then you have agents like me. I was doing, 14 million and growing my team. And then I was like, you know what? I really don't like managing people. I felt like I was spending more time managing the business, and I really wanted to focus on the deals and actually educating and training agents. And I knew in order to get out of, to get where I wanted to go, I had to let my ego go. I had to fire my ego and say, you know what? I'm going to join this team because I can go farther, faster, with somebody doing the parts of my job I don't like. So a couple of years ago, when I was the productivity coach in the office, I would watch people when they chose to join teams. A lot of it was based out of fear and frustration, because back to the point that we're independent contractors, the industry doesn't tell us to do X, Y, Z as far as getting trained. And they don't tell you, you need to be your own boss. You need to be your own employee. You are your own boss. You are your own employee, and you're your own manager. This comes right out of the ebook, the E-Myth book. Now you're a plumber who became your own business person. You barely touch a pipe anymore. So when agents come into the business, the industry does not set them up to succeed by telling them exactly what they need to do. So everybody's floundering. Everybody's trying to cobble together an education. They see teams that look successful in the office, and reality is they're just trying to figure it out themselves. So I feel for new agents, because it is so easy to get lost in this industry, and the failure rate is so high, and that's where, my passion for education and training comes in. And that is that if you just follow the models and get the education in the order in which you need it, and don't worry about the advanced classes, like don't go to the investor mastermind class. Like you don't need that. You need to learn how to just talk to people and ask them if they need to buy or sell a house. You need to learn what the process of pre-qualifying a buyer and showing them homes is,
I'm glad that you bring up the E-Myth. It's the one book I was recommended to read multiple times before I decided to get into any career when I made a change 7 years ago. And I just happened to get into real estate after reading it. And it's funny because I believe that, first of all, society right now, there's so many more entrepreneurs than there's ever been. And a lot of people think that they're an entrepreneur, but they have no idea what that means, right? And that goes for any business, any career path that you choose. There's entrepreneurs basically in every single job class that you could think of. With real estate, as an agent, by default, you're an entrepreneur. And the understanding of what that means, first of all, and then really understanding if you're cut out for it, because not everybody is what I see to be one of the biggest problems, because of the barrier to entry in our business being relatively low compared to a lot of other industries. And you get people who get into the business and have a lot of energy and a lot of momentum, and the real estate school does nothing to prepare you for what it really means to be a real estate agent. And you're dropped in to the brokerage that you join, and depending on where you go, I should say, in most places, you're not given those models that you're talking about with Keller Williams. And it's certainly not something that that is being taught on the team level. So it's really interesting to hear agents who come into the business thinking that they're going to churn and burn these deals right away, yet they have no understanding of A, what it means to be self-motivated and be an entrepreneur, and B, how that translates to the real estate industry, let alone the fact that they don't even realize that there's plenty of information and training at their fingertips. You bring up Mike McCann, back to the point about understanding what an agent needs from a team and what the team's value is. The reason that Keller Williams and Mike McCann were such a great match is Mike understood exactly what he wanted when he moved to a different broker, and Keller Williams knew that Mike was going to meet them more than halfway with the way that he does business to deliver upon any kind of expectation that Keller Williams had for Mike. So again, whether you're a new agent or you're 30 years in the business and thinking about, in this case, moving brokerages, but essentially moving teams, you have to have a clear understanding of what you want as an agent, what your expectations are, what you need to do as far as your job is concerned. How does that match up with the team that you're looking to join? And can that team, based on what you're ready to provide, take you to the next level?